Hey everybody, Nick's here. I hope everyone's doing okay in these trying times because of this global pandemic. And me personally and the C team would like to thank all the frontliners, whether it's from the medical field, from the armed forces, from the police, and from the citizens who have been helping each other out and who've been helping everyone out deal with this global pandemic. You know, it's something new, just like what we're going to discuss today. Like, this topic is something new. We've been getting a lot of questions on how does one sanitize their car. Fortunately and unfortunately, we got the Ford FX4. We were supposed to test drive, but due to these circumstances, we weren't able to. But as soon as this is all over, we'll get back to this truck. In order to understand how to sanitize your car, we have to know the difference between cleaning, disinfecting, and sanitizing. When you're cleaning something, it doesn't necessarily kill the germs, but it takes it away from the surfaces that you clean. When you say disinfecting, you're killing the germs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're removing them away from the surface. So they're two opposites, cleaning and disinfecting. Sanitizing, though, is the concept of lowering the number of germs in a certain area, whether by cleaning it or by disinfecting it. So, to maximize sanitizing a car, we're going to first clean it and then disinfect it. So before we get started, we have to know the parts of the car's interior that we have to sanitize. The most important one is the steering wheel because that is the most contact you're going to have with the car. The next thing you want to clean are the cup holders because they actually, trap in a lot of dirt, and when we wipe surfaces, it's one of the last things we forget to clean. This is then followed by the gear shift knob because just like the steering wheel, it's one of the things that we have most contact with. And then after that, you want to start with the door handles, the seats, the seat belt, and then the buttons of the infotainment system or the dashboard in general. So those are the things you want to clean. The first objective when sanitizing a car is to clean it. So we want to remove as much germs as we can. There are plastic cleaners out there you can get, car interior cleaners. They work well. So it's up to you, up to your preference on what cleaner you want to use. Whatever you're using, you want to read the instructions. So this is a plastic cleaner from Sonat. So we're going to be following the instructions. And for this one, it's shake before you apply. And then with a microfiber towel, you can wipe it off. But we have to go the extra mile on this one. So when using a plastic cleaner or interior cleaner, you also want to be using a brush so that you can agitate the dirt to be pulled out of the surface. So we have to remember that. Just because we put cleaner and wipe it off doesn't necessarily mean that dirt gets out right away. We have to agitate it. We have to scrub it so that it gets pulled out of the surface and then we can wipe it off. We will now be disinfecting it. So you can go to supermarkets, you can go to, I think, even drugstores. They have disinfectant sprays. The thing is, a lot of people get mistaken where they just spray it and then wipe it off right away. That's not how it works. There's actually directions at the back that says on how to use it. So the big misconception is that they spray it right away and then wipe it off. It doesn't work that way. Disinfectants have instructions in the back that say how long you have to leave it in order for it to kill the germs. So with this one, it says here you have to leave it in the surface for at least 30 seconds for it to disinfect. Yeah. If you don't have disinfectants, don't worry. You can use alcohol. If I'm not mistaken, it has to be around 60% of a solution for it to be in a disinfectant level. And you can use these wet wipes that are antibacterial. But in these cases, you might have to leave it a little longer than you should. And for the wet wipes, you're gonna have to do probably multiple passes for it to get effect. A good marker for these is around a minute, leaving the disinfectant for a minute. The problem is also there's so many materials in the car. Sometimes when we use these disinfectants, it can actually discolor the car because if these disinfectants are strong, they can ruin the dye of the plastics and so on and so forth. So when disinfecting the car, because it's going to be the chemicals can be pretty harsh, you want to use surfaces that aren't really caught to the eye right away. So, like, I'd like to start, like, when I'm testing this stuff, I like to start, like, with the door, like, near the door jambs, because, like, you don't really look at it right away. For, like, the steering wheel, I actually like to work on the back of the steering wheel first to make sure that the chemicals, when they react to the plastics and leather and whatnot, like, they don't discolor. And you wanna work also on like today it's like early in the morning, so like it's not so hot, so these things don't dry up easily. So yeah, you want to leave it like that. So leave it for 30 seconds. So in sanitizing a car, it's just a balance between cleaning it and disinfecting it. But when you put both of them together, you can assure yourself and everyone that enters the car that they're safe from this kind of pandemic or from any germs or diseases that can be roaming around. We'd like to thank also all the frontliners out there for making a huge difference at these trying times. And thank you for watching C Magazine.